You're watching this video probably because you realize the importance of building an online audience because it's the number one asset that you can build for your life and for whatever it's going to do next. Because this audience is going to be able to buy your future products. This audience is going to be looking at your future brand and eventually recommending you to other people. You probably have seen other influencers or well-known individuals on social media and you wonder what the heck are they doing to get themselves to have such a big audience online. And in this video, I'm going to tell you the different ways that you can leverage that you have today, right now, that you can start doing to start building your own audience online from absolutely zero. Because trust me, I've been there. I've been there in the early days when no one was watching my videos, when I had 0 subscribers on this channel. I've been there when I send out an email newsletter and it feels like it's sending out to crickets because no one cares. I've been there when I feel like I'm creating content and I'm just wasting all of my time creating something that no one will see. But trust me, every single thing that you're doing, by just starting watching this video right now, you're getting started. You're having that initial inspiration to start building that audience, and you're already thousands of steps ahead of most people right now. Hi, I'm Laurie. Welcome back to my channel. And on this channel, we talk all about marketing, business, and also self-improvement topics. So if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button and let's get started. I first want to talk about this topic of the secret sauce. And what is your secret sauce, right? Because think back to the early days when there were things that people will come to you for. What is that? Really, really reflect on this one, because this is the one thing that will really help you stand out amongst all the other people that you're going to be talking about this particular topic in your industry. And I feel like when I first got started, everyone talked about this concept of finding a niche. And I kind of just feel like I got brainwashed into doing this when in reality, finding a niche isn't exactly going to help you stand out. And hear me out on this one, because I think finding a niche makes you play small. But instead, I think we should all focus on finding our unique premise. So what is your secret sauce that makes you different in the way that you approach something? So I first came across this when I was watching Jay Cluse's podcast, which I highly recommend you checking out if you're interested in that area, on basically everything around the creator economy. It's called Creator Science. And you talk about this concept of a unique premise, because nowadays everyone's trying to find their niche, right, on anything they're doing, especially on social media. But the premise is really what makes a lot of the more successful creators stand out. So a really great example he gave was Tori Dunlop, who helps women make their first 100K using personal financial investment techniques. And again, her niche, which is very much a very saturated market in personal finance, but she's able to stand out with her unique take and perspective on something. I think that's really a really good angle to think about when it comes to thinking about your own secret sauce. And we all have something inside of us that we didn't know we have yet that we can share with others. So if you want some guidelines or questions to ask yourself on how to come up with your unique premise, the first one would be, who do you want to talk to on social media? Like, if you can see this person right in front of you, what do they look like? And the second question is, what can you help them with, right? So you know who this ideal person that you want to speak to every single time you post content, right? But then what can you actually help them with? What they're currently struggling with right now? What's keeping them up at night? And if you were in their shoes, what do you think is the most difficult thing that they have to face? And how can you help them with that? And really the last one is bringing this all together is what makes you different to others? Like, how is your approach different? And what makes you stand out in that? And I was just thinking back to this when I first got started with YouTube. I realized in the marketplace, there's really a lot of marketing content already within what I do because I'm a marketer by trade. But when I was watching this type of content, I felt like a lot of them were very technical, lots of jargons, and I didn't find them very easy to understand. And I thought the way that my secret sauce could be is that I can help others by helping them to understand the very complex topics and jargons in a very simple way. And I think over time, this is really what made my channel stood out. In the very saturated markets of marketing and business and self-improvement is that I'm able to simplify and describe things. I never realized that was my secret sauce until people started saying that to me in the comments. But this is exactly the type of thing that you want to think about is what are your friends and family saying about you that really makes you different because you are different. And what you have is your gift to the world. This is your chance to leverage social media to use as your microphone to get it out there because people out there who need your advice and your special approach is waiting for you. And by you not doing that, you're not serving them in the right way. You're helping them to miss out on a massive opportunity because you're not there yet to help them. And this is probably your biggest motivation. If there's anything that can motivate you to keep doing what you're doing, to start doing that today, to start building that audience today, is that what you have is something that only you can provide. And I want you to take this opportunity to use social media to do that for yourself right now and for all your future audiences. And once you figure out this secret sauce, that unique premise that you have, you want to think about where you're going to start building your audience on which social media platform. And please, please don't make this mistake where you get so excited, you're thinking, oh my gosh, I figured it out. I'm going to start building a social media audience now. And you start going on to X, which is Twitter now. You start going to Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Snapchat, and on TikTok. You register an account on every single platform. And you get so excited. You're like, right, let's do this. And then guess what happens? Within a week, maybe you try to post on every single platform every single day. And you scramble, you get around the clock, you get it out there, you get no sleep. And then within a week, you just think to yourself, that's it. I'm done. I give up. This is too much work. Because guess what? You just burned out. And that's what happens to so many people. It happened to me. It happened to all the business owners I spoke to. Because social media can be a huge time suck if you're not careful about it. And this happens every single day. The amount of times I've seen this in my 10 plus years career as a marketer and helping other small business owners, helping other startups, is that they get so excited about the potential of social media. What they don't realize is that social media is a full-time job. If you have those different 5 or 6 different social media channels, I guarantee you, for a lot of these bigger companies out there like Nike, Adidas, they have a whole team looking after social media 24/7, cranking out content, engaging with people, getting onto those platforms. If you're trying to do this on your own, one person band right now starting out, and you're trying to do 5 or 6 different channels, I guarantee you will burn out. And you want to save yourself that hassle, right? Think about, is there 1 or 2 platform, 2 max, I would say, that you really, really want to build an audience right now, that you enjoy looking at the content on this platform? Because let's say you're a great writer. You write amazingly and you love reading other people's tweets. You love reading other people's LinkedIn posts. Twitter and LinkedIn, perfect for you. Let's say you're great on camera. You don't mind being in front of the camera, being in front of the lens, and you're natural at speaking on camera, or you're training to be natural, you're currently practicing, then go on YouTube because YouTube is made for you. Or let's say you're great on audio. You love jumping onto a podcast. You love listening to podcasts yourself, right? You love jumping onto podcasts and then maybe interviewing someone. You could be a great interviewer. Then go on and record a podcast and then put that podcast out on Apple, Spotify, all these different places. Because you want to embrace, first of all, what you're naturally good at in which format, right? Think about different formats that you enjoy currently consuming content on, and how can you turn that around and embrace that creator mindset and start creating content. And the other part is think about how you can get yourself out there on 1 or 2 platforms that these formats work really well on, right? So like I said earlier, if you have a preference for any of these different formats, think about which one you've been historically really good at and maybe which one you enjoy creating content on. For me, I just love video because I just find it easy to create videos versus other people who might find it hard. But yet I find it hard to, let's say, write content because I'm not yet a great writer. Notice the word yet there because I'm working on it. But I think that for someone who's great at writing, they can churn out a really amazing tweet or thread on Tweet and then put that into a LinkedIn post within minutes. And they should do that all day long because their audiences are waiting there for them, who loves everything that they will create because they're such a great writer in that aspect. So think about what's your natural talent, right? What do you enjoy? And just go out there and create it. And one thing I want to mention here that I think a lot of people don't talk about is the power of repurposing your content. You could be, let's say, currently doing long blog posts, long YouTube videos, right? A lot of these things you can chop up into smaller pieces and put on all different kind of platforms out there. Especially videos are doing really well when you do a short form video on TikTok, Instagram Reels, and you can even share it everywhere else. At the end of the day, one thing that I want you to take away about social media is that every single audience is different. And a lot of times what you might see working for other people, it might not always work for your audience. But that's fine because we're always in this experimentation, like a mad scientist type of mindset, because we want to go out there and test things out a little bit. And what you're learning from the data, because social media platforms are full of data, you get so much insight from everything that you post out there. At the end of the month, at the end of the week, go look at some of that data. Learn from what's working and what's not working. And then just go all in on the ones that are working. Because that is how you're going to grow. So this next step is going to help you grow on social media because people are going to see your content by using these strategies. Number one is this thing called borrowed credibility. So like I said, when we first get started, it's tough. No one knows about us. No one cares about what we're saying. Whereas if you borrow the credibility of people that are well known on those platforms, you're guaranteed to get a lot more eyeballs on your content. So here on YouTube, you're probably going to see a lot of videos breaking down Mr. Beast's success because he's well known on the channel. He's probably one of the biggest YouTubers currently going. And you want to know how he did it because you wouldn't care about what I would say about YouTube, but yet you would definitely care about Mrs. Beast has done that's got him there, right? And let's say you're currently in the productivity niche. People probably won't care about what you're saying, but they would definitely care about what James Clear did because he's the guy that wrote Atomic Habits, which is still the #1 best-selling book on Amazon for the last decade or so. The reason why these kind of content do well is because people care about what the experts in your industry are doing, and they want to learn about how they did it. The second part is how do you borrow visibility? Now, borrow visibility is basically this concept that I've seen done over and over again. Doesn't matter what social media platforms you could be on, this will work. So you're going to pick out 5 different influencers that's well known in your industry that's currently on that social media platform right now that you're going to be turning on their post notifications. You're going to follow their accounts and you're going to look at their content daily. And every single day when they're posting content and that's putting a notification in your phone, you want to then go jump on that post as early as possible. Leave a comment that's also well-meaning and well thought out. So don't leave a comment that's generic like, well done, love this post. I guarantee you it's not going to do anything. What you want to do is leave a comment that's really well thought out that makes you seem like a thought leadership in the industry or makes you seem that you know what you're talking about. That's the kind of comment you want to leave. Because trust me, when people are seeing their content in their feed on that post and your comment is one of the few that's first showed up underneath the post and your comment is really good, you will get noticed. People will like, heart, whatever platform you're on, they'll go engage with that comment and they'll go check out your profile. And that's why I call borrow visibility because you're borrowing the visibility of that particular influencer. And this is totally okay to do because you are actually contributing to the community because you're sharing your insights with the community of that influencer. And you actually contribute to the greater good of social media because you have a valuable perspective to share. That's your secret sauce, right? And this last strategy, this is probably the most underrated strategy that people never talk about, is that your direct message inbox is one of your most valuable assets on social media. So, for example, when you start posting content out more regularly, as we said earlier, you figure out what format you like, you figure out what platform you want to share it on, and you start sharing it regularly, you're going to get people to start noticing you. They can start following you. Maybe they start commenting on your posts. They start sharing your content. And every time you get engagement like that, you want to check out that person's profile. Is this person relevant to who I want to speak to? Remember that first question I asked you about who do you want to speak to on social media? Who is the perfect person that you can see them right here, right now? And if you look at this profile, does it suit that person that you listed out? Because if it is, that's the person you want to reach out to in a direct message and say, hey, thanks so much for commenting on my content. I love the fact that you share some of your insights or you share some of your questions there. Is there anything I can help you with right now? What are you currently working on? Find out about them, have a conversation, because building relationships is just as important online as it is offline, right? A lot of times we tend to think of our followers as just a number. Oh, we have this thousands of followers, or I have this few hundred, but we don't think about them like an individual person. So imagine right now that person on the other side of the screen who's looking at your content, engaging with it. That's a real person that you can speak out to and who potentially could become a future, let's say, loyal fan, or maybe even better, a paid customer and also client, right? Because this is how I built my initial traction or audience in the early days. I reached out to every single person who commented, who liked my stuff, who followed me, to ask them what they're following me for and why they like that piece of content. And that strikes a conversation. And I start asking them, well, what are you working on right now? Anything I can help with? You never underestimate the value of that question. How can I help you? And sometimes I just jump in the call with them, have that initial 10-15 minute conversation. These are the things that don't scale in the early days when you're building an audience. And a lot of people aren't willing to go that extra mile. But I know that if you're watching this video, you are willing to go that extra mile to build that audience, to build that loyalty with your audiences. Because this is really going to stand you out amongst the millions of other accounts that are being started today that are starting from zero, but they aren't willing to do that extra bit of work, but you are. And having that personalized connection with your followers is so key to build that engagement later on. Because also from the algorithm perspective, by you doing that hard work, the algorithm is thinking, okay, this person's having a lot of individual connections and also conversations with their audiences. And they're going to start showing your content in front of your audiences who are following you on a regular basis. So there's no more complaints about the fact that the algorithm's hiding my content. A lot of times it's because one, the content's not good enough, or two, it's just because you're not engaging with your followers enough. And that really brings me to this last point, is that you want to play the long game on social media. If you've never read that book, The Infinite Game by Simon Sinek, I recommend you getting that book, because that book changed my entire mindset on not just social media growth, but everything else that I've done in my life so far, is that social media itself is definitely a long-term game. So you can't expect to start social media today and start seeing sales or followers or results tomorrow, because we're all living in this instant gratification society where we have Amazon Prime, where we start seeing people saying about overnight successes. And the truth is, there are no overnight successes. And social media is definitely one of the things where you have to consistently put in the effort, day in, day out, being there, showing up. And that's when you start seeing results. So if you embrace this social media growth like a long-term game, you start taking out the gratifications of how many followers you have, but rather you start taking out the gratification of, have I done enough today to move me forward? Have I created the content that I think is going to resonate with my audiences? Have I reached out to the individuals that are currently in my follower base rather than always looking for new ones? That is what's going to help you win in the long term. I hope that this video spoke out to you. And if you're still here, that means that you really get me and you get what I'm trying to say. And I think you're going to be the top 1% that are really going to win in the long term on social media. And I hope that you join me on this journey. Feel free to subscribe below if you want more videos like these. If you have any questions as well, reach out to me in the comments, because I love to answer every single one of them. That's just my nature and just how I work. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Make sure to share with a friend as well who might also find this useful. I'll talk to you soon.